This week on Talk of the Town, we highlight Bear River High School graduation and the motorcade, along with the monthly farmers market. We also have a recap of how spring sports finished up with Athletic Director Clay Chournos.
Yesterday. Get some meals? Sorry about the camera.
Congratulations, class of 2024, you've officially made it to graduation. This is the biggest moment of our high school experience, so let us reflect on the lessons we've learned and the journey that has brought us here. Taking us back to elementary school, where life was simple, our biggest worries were passing our dibbles tests and completing our times tables the fastest. We were worried about what we wanted to play during recess, and now we're trying to figure out what we want to do for the rest of our lives.
And to prove to ourselves that we made it, we want to take one last picture to freeze this moment in time. So, everybody pose for the point 5.
Close to the ones here today.
Close to the ones here today.
Close to the ones that we lost on the way.
Cause the dreams bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you.
It is my privilege to share this moment with you, my colleagues, your families, and our entire community. Being part of Bear River High School has been a wonderful experience for me and my family. I hope you will always feel like I do, and that coming back to Bear River will be like coming home. I want to congratulate you on graduation and all your other achievements as a class. You are completely surrounded by opportunity. What are we going to do with these opportunities? Literally, so many to choose from. It can be intimidating and overwhelming. There are so many options, there are so many opportunities, it's easy to become overwhelmed to the point of inactivity if you're not careful. Will you be able to see opportunity when others don't? Finally, don't allow yourself to become overwhelmed by the situation or circumstances. You're going to find yourself surrounded at times. Will you shrink into inactivity and doubt, or attack and move forward?
But I need you to stop and I need you to gaze around. I need you to look at how many people are here for you. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your relatives. They love you, they support you. Give them a round of applause, please. I'm going to leave you with 2 words. Okay, I want you to get really good at 2 words. And these 2 words are just like building your muscles or building your talents. You have to work at it. It just doesn't happen. Okay, the first one's gratitude. You got to learn to be grateful for what you have. In private, in public, you got to be grateful. Someone's always going to be better, smarter, prettier, have more. And that's okay. Be grateful for what you got. The other word I want you to remember is kindness. No matter what, be kind. There's a lot of unkind things in this world, but Bear River Bears are kind. So as you travel around and you do your amazing things, remember to be grateful and remember to be kind. The most amazing thing about those 2 attributes, that regardless of how much you share, how much you give of those 2 attributes, not only does it fill the other person, but it also fills yourself.
Thank you for blessing each other's lives. You have played a vital role in shaping positive relationships and a respectful school community at Bear River High School. It is my hope that in 5, 20, or even 50 years from now, you will all love each other and look forward to celebrating this special connection in the years to come.
Will the senior cheerleaders please come forward to lead us in the fight song? Please move tassels from right to left. On 3, throw your caps. 1, 2, 3.
As we wrap up our regular season of coverage, we just covered 2 weeks of softball through KSL. We were able to cover the Bear River High School graduation, and this kind of caps off our season with the farmers market. We're doing that as we head into summer. Although we have a bit of slowdown until we hit August, we will still be releasing weekly episodes. So be sure to go check those out, and let us know if you have an interest in being involved or have a fun story to share with us, and we'd love to hear it. We are going to be showcasing some of the different vendors and showing you what this event has to offer May through October each year, and it's the first Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
It's just been a huge success. It's grown every single year. We always max out the amount of vendors. We get new ones. We get the same old every time that just want to be here. The food trucks. We get activities for the kids that just love to come out and hang out. And it's just a fun way for people in the community to kind of catch up with people and support our local artists, growers, bakers, etc. Having a way for the community to come out and support these artists, our bakers, our people who are growing produce, flowers, all of that in one place that we know that they're going to be every month. That's good for those trying to make a little extra money to put their kids in soccer or whatever. But it's also good for the community. Having these events, it builds the community, it builds relationships, you make new friends, and it's also good for our businesses. It increases foot traffic downtown. People will go into stores that they haven't even been in before, they didn't know they existed. The July one is probably my favorite. It's become a tradition. We do a watermelon eating contest. For all ages, we break people up into age groups, so you're not competing kids against adults. But it's messy, it's delicious, it's so fun. And then the city, we give out free hot dogs to the community while supplies last. So that's kind of become like our 4th of July tradition here in the community. Later this year, we've got kind of like back to school fun that we'll be doing with some ice cream. And then we've always got our pumpkins in October, which is probably my other favorite. I love pumpkins, I love fall, and the kids that grow those giant pumpkins from the seeds the mayor hands out, they bring them in, we weigh them, we see who has the biggest, and it's a lot of fun.
Very successful farmers market that we can be proud of. I walked around and visited with some of the vendors and some of the folks that are here, and people feel good about it. It's something that brings the community together. I think that's really what Sarah had in her mind when she was contemplating the farmers market, is something, a kind of a gathering place where we can get together, visit with friends, and enjoy good food, enjoy walking around and getting to know people, and the vendors, all the food, the salsa, the homemade items, the bracelets and different things like that. Are just great things, and it's all homespun. It isn't just knickknacks type things. These are homespun things. I know some of the bread makers, they've been up since almost all night, getting ready for today, making sure they get the bread, cinnamon rolls and artisan bread and everything else that's so good. They've been at it for a long time and getting ready for this morning and today. As for the pumpkin contest, it's something we started right when I very first started. My career was in extension, and so my heart is kind of there too, and growing things and working with young people, and this just seemed to be an extension of that. So I wanted to be able to have a pumpkin contest. We give out the seeds. We gave out the seeds last farmers market, and the kids have got them in the ground. Some of them said their pumpkins are already 2 or 3 inches high and looking really good. And then in the first farmers market in October, what we'll do is we'll have a pumpkin contest, and we'll have everybody bring their pumpkins in, and we weigh them, and then we'll have prizes for the heaviest pumpkin.
So here at our booth, we have raspberry, cinnamon, peach rolls, raspberry danishes, Queen Amman, which is a caramelized pastry that crusts on the outside, and then we have brioche bread. So lots of different pastries. 11 years I've been baking, introducing new pastries as time goes on, and my daughters here, Brooke and Kinley, and our littlest one right here, Hadley, they are my big helpers.
We have been making salsa for almost 15 years. And now we've kind of altered the recipe and fixed it up and over the years, and now it's just ours, and we've been making it. We officially bought the business, just us 2 sisters from the family, and it's just ours now for 2 years, and changed it to Salsa Sisters. It officially was just a summer business, but we do it year round now. What's unique about our salsa is we sell our pepper blend on the side, so it's extremely mild but super flavorful, but you get to control the heat by putting as many peppers as you want into your salsa. We make it fresh every week. It's extremely low calorie. It's full of veggies.
So the 4-H Entrepreneur Program, this is my first year doing it. It's just a program that gives people in 4-H, so kids from 6 to 18, an opportunity to create businesses for themselves. I was looking for a summer job. I couldn't get a job anywhere else because I don't have the time, and so I decided to make crochet stuff and sell it because I love crocheting. I've been doing it for about 5 years now, and I can make all sorts of things. I've made stuffed animals, I make washcloths, I make dish scrubbers, I make little octopi that I love. And it's just a really great program because it gives you the opportunity to take control of your job and your income. And so it's a really good opportunity for me and everyone that does it.
So 4-H basically, so they give you startup money and they give you lessons on how to run a business. And so I did 3D printing because we have a 3D printer, and I was like, I have people at school always asking me, when I bring stuff to school, are you selling that?
And I've been with the 4-H for 2 years now. It's a really great program just to get a good business started and learn some good skills, communication skills, business skills, stuff like that. I've been woodworking for a while now, and it's just something that I really love to do. And the 4-H was a great way to just be able to sell it and do the things that I love.
We have blueberry lemon zest sourdough loaves and some rosemary, garlic, and jalapeno cheddar. I bake all of these at home, and I do deliveries every Sunday with all of the sourdough. And sometimes we have other goodies like bagels and cookies and things like that. So come out and get some taste testers. We've got all three. I'm cutting up some rosemary, garlic. That'll be available soon.
A lot of our sponsors have seen the value in adding more community type stuff, business spotlights, covering the different events that are happening throughout the community. And so that's where Talk of the Town has come to light. We've been doing it for about a year now, so if you haven't seen our episodes, be sure to go check them out. We want to spotlight and showcase our Talk of the Town sponsors, those who have helped us bring more community type stuff and business spotlights. And those sponsors include Chanshare Sod Farms, The Grill Restaurant, C&R Trailer Sales, Bear River Animal Hospital, Coldwell Banker, Kent's Market, Lincoln Financial, and Miller Medical.
So another season down and another spring recap here with Athletic Director Clay Chournos talking about all the sports, even some not sanctioned.
Yeah.
We have champions getting rings that doesn't have UHSAA written on them, right? Yeah. We got rugby.
Yeah, rugby. It's been they've played for the state championship the last 2 years. Last year, got beat in the state final game. Yeah, came up three points short, if I remember right. And this year ended up going down, and they dominated the state championship game this year. I think it was 47-0, if I remember right when I got done.
It was a blowout.
It was definitely a blowout. So yeah, we had a lot of our kids that played football played on that team. There was quite a few of those guys that played there and did a great job. I actually went down and watched the state championship game, and they actually got a game at the home stadium as well. They played a home game there, and that was fun to watch. I don't have a clue what's going on 90% of the time. Coach Perry Crawford is a great guy, and I don't know if that sport will ever get sanctioned, but it's kind of fun to watch. So
it is fun to watch. We were in the same boat because we covered the game when they played at home.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And we had one of the coaches there help commentate, kind of explain to us what was going on, and that helped a lot.
You almost got to have like a course on them in lacrosse. Like I don't know, I get it. I get how many you're either up or you're down based on points, but I'm not 100% sure what's going on other than that. So, but it was fun to watch. Yeah,
definitely. So congratulations to them. Robotics.
Robotics is just it's a club. But holy cow! You want to talk about just a juggernaut of strength in not just our state, but honestly nationwide. Our school is right there. They took 6 teams to Worlds, which is unheard of. Utah only got 8 total. We took 6 of them. One of our high school teams took home an award. So you got to figure it's Worlds, and it's when you say Worlds, it's not just the United States and a couple other countries. I think it's like something like 160 countries. They hold it in Dallas at a convention center that's, think Salt Palace times 10. I mean, that's how big it is, and they have competitions going all over the place. It's insane. You walk through there and you're like, I don't have a clue where anybody's at. They have a map on an app for you so you can find where you're supposed to go. It's unbelievably large, and to get an award there means it would be akin to winning a national championship for robotics. And so one of our high school teams brought home an award, and then one of our middle school teams ended up playing in what they call the Dome. So you go through all these competitions, and then if you make it out of your pod, then you can ally with somebody else that's in there, and then those are the top 10 teams. And then if you come out of that, then you go against another top 10 team in what they call the Dome. So that there's only like 10 total teams that make it to that final, and they live stream it, and there's like 20,000 people in the stands there watching. And so our middle school team, I believe they lost by 1 point to the eventual world champions. That's the first time that's ever happened. We've never had a team actually make it to the Dome. So again, yeah, super proud of those guys. Mr. Ritchie he's unbelievable. And honestly, you won't find anybody that works harder than those kids. They are there all the time. I mean, you go, especially Thursday nights. Thursday nights are sort of their set apart night where they kind of do all that stuff. But usually when I'm leaving, there's at least one kid just barely leaving the robotics room, and that's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So those kids deserve a lot of credit, even though it's not necessarily a sanctioned sport, but it is something that our school is very proud of from them, obviously because of the national notoriety that they're getting, but just the fact that they work that hard and that we see a payoff for that. It's pretty awesome. So
next sport we can talk about is tennis. They had 118 matches, won 29, lost 89.
Yeah,
had a couple good.
Our region's pretty good in tennis.
Yeah,
it's one of those sports. I don't know. I call it a rich guy sport, right? Like that's generally what it is. And we definitely have a lot of affluent schools in our region, so it's a little tougher. But we definitely got better this year. We had more kids come out. Coach Shaw, his second year as the head coach there, and he'll tell you he doesn't know a whole lot about tennis, but I talked to him. He's like, it's a great group of kids. We love going. There was got better. We ended up winning a couple of region matches, which was I don't think we did last year. So that was good. We won a couple of those and actually competed a little bit. And he's got a lot of younger kids coming in. I know Lawrence Rigby. He was probably our number one a tennis guy, single tennis guy. And he went to state and did a good job there. I think he won his first match, if I remember right, and then was really close in the second match in state. Will Nicholson, freshman, came in, had a really, really good match at state, lost a close one, just that first one. So again, young kids coming in, and so next year I think we'll be even better, just because we got a lot of those young guys. I think we only had 4 seniors this year that graduated, so almost everybody else that was competing was a younger kid. So yeah.
A couple academic all-region out of there. You had
Beck Burrell,
Beck and Jexton.
Yeah, Jexton Bergero.
I think those were your 2 all-region.
Also, just shout out to Jexton. Jexton also got an orchestra scholarship. Kind of a big deal on the orchestra scholarship, actually. So yeah, it was a fairly large scholarship through Utah Foundation. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, tennis player making good somewhere else too. So
yeah, perfect.
Well-rounded. Yeah. Yeah, girls golf, man, what a great season. Coach Jim Thomas was his last year. He ended up quitting coaching after this year. He's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah, he's been there forever.
Great guy. Hate to see him go. Love to see him coach. But he just say, he's got grandkids and he's trying to chase a lot of things, and he's like, it's time for somebody else to take over. But what a way to go out. We did really, really well in region for really kind of the first time in a long time. We challenged to be right there at the top of region, and then went down and placed 8th in state, which was amazing. Obviously the whole team made it to the second day, which is, I don't think we've done that in at least the last 15 years, if I remember right. Like, we've always been just outside of that, and so to do that was amazing. Had lots of individual PRs during that time, which was great. And like I said, take 8th overall as a team. I think our top placer was, if I remember, was Tylee Bennett, and I don't remember what exactly placed, but I think she podiumed, and then we had a couple other girls. I know Abby Nelson had a pretty good round. If I remember right, Sheridan Strong, I think she had a pretty good round as well. And I'm trying to remember who the other one that was up there. Might have been Jessa Tyre. Anyway, yeah, had some really good individual performances that obviously then project your team into that top 8, which I thought was amazing for us, and had a really good end to Coach Thomas's career. So I felt good about sending him out that way.
Academic All-State was Jessa.
Yeah.
There from golf.
Yeah.
Boys volleyball?
Yeah, boys volleyball's a new one. For first year, I think we only had 2 kids that have actually ever played in a competitive volleyball game before, 2 or 3. And so, completely new set of kids trying to learn just how to play the game. And that was pretty evident as you watched some of their very, very first matches. A lot of athletic kids, but had no idea where to go and how to set up a defense or an offense or who we were passing to and what our strategy was going to be like. But then by the end of the year, you saw a huge growth. And had we understood some of that at the beginning of the year, I really think we would have won some games for sure. We just couldn't quite understand it to begin with. But Coach Brown and Coach Christensen did a good job of teaching the kids the game. Mountain Crest, we won a set from.
You got the set, yeah.
And Logan, we were right there in all 3 of the sets that we played with them. I think they won our region for volleyball. And I watched the game we played early against Logan, and we competed at times, but not all the time. And then I watched the game we played them the second time, and we competed on every point. So it's just a matter of trying to get kids understand the game a little bit better, get them some more experience, and it'll be interesting to see what other athletes we get to go play volleyball. Just because it was a new sport this year. I don't know that too many kids thought, we'll go play that. Although they did have enough to field a varsity and a JV team, so we'll look forward to seeing what we can field next year. And we got a lot of kids coming back. There were quite a few seniors, but a lot of underclassmen started for Coach Brown. We had a couple of freshmen that actually started for her, and so looking forward to seeing what those guys can do with a year of experience and doing a little bit more understanding what the game looks like and how it gets played out. So
your academic all-region was Ethan Gamble and Riley Hunter.
Yeah.
Out of volleyball. Track and field.
Yeah, track and field had a really good year this year. Boys ended up second in region, and not by much either. It was pretty close. And then the girls had some really, really good finishers, and go to state. And Coach Curtis does just a great job with our track team. He's kind of out there. I mean, he's got some good help, but he definitely kind of is out there by himself, running things a lot. And so get over to the region meet, and it's definitely a little bit of a disadvantage for us because you always go over to Ridgeline or Mountain Crest or somebody like that and running in it. And they did a great job. They podiumed a ton of kids. And what you're looking for in a region meet obviously is for kids to PR. We want to get to that point where they've gone through the gamut of the season and are peaking at the right times. And then we get to state. Our girls 4x1? It was our 4x100 relay team. Ended up taking second in state by 0.04 seconds, which is like less than the blink of an eye, honestly. It was definitely a huge photo finish, but those girls did an amazing job with that. We had 4 or 5 other kids that podiumed in individual sports. I think David Burgess getting on the podium in the high jump. And then he actually just signed a letter of intent yesterday to high jump at Southern Utah University in the future. So that's really good. Teague White had an amazing year. You didn't hear him in a lot of individual stuff because a lot of the stuff that he does in decathlon. And high school sports doesn't really have a decathlon, but he did well in the long jump and some other things, the 110 high hurdles. But he actually got invited to go to a huge meet in Oregon that they'll sponsor there to do the decathlon. So he's one of the highest placers in the state for points when it comes to decathlon. So he'll go down there and do that. I'm sure, I know he's been looking at a couple of different colleges that have been knocking on his door a little bit. Aiden Wilson was, I think, second in the shot and second in discus in the region. Ty Jones, I think Ty Jones ended up being fourth in state in the jav. He won the region. So yeah, a lot of good, solid athletes that came through and did a really good job for us with track. Usually have around 80 athletes total that come out for track, which is a lot. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's always fun to see them run and jump and do all those individual sports and really just do well.
Academic All-State is Jared Jones,
Jared, yep.
Jaron Oxborough, and Teague White.
Yep, Teague, yep.
And then your academic All-Region is Sadie Adams, Abigail Miller, Joe Hunter, Cara Hunter, Madison
Obel, yeah.
Obel.
Yeah.
And then, Meanne Stone.
Yep.
And Braxton Craven, David Burgess, and Ren Hunter was all region.
Yeah. Academic all region, yeah. Those guys, like I said, you get about 80 athletes. It's pretty impressive that many of them are on either academic all state or all region. That's pretty impressive. So
now we can go to boys soccer. They finished 1-13 overall, 0 in region, 21st seed in 4A.
Yeah, again, our region's really tough with soccer. I mean, last year, two of our teams played for the state championship, and really tough schedules. It's almost like a murderer's row schedule. So we pulled up as the 21st seed, which wasn't a horrible spot for us. Ended up going to Murray. No, not Murray. Hillcrest, yeah, I knew it was down Salt Lake. Ended up having to travel to Hillcrest and really competed really well. I think we were down 1-0 at halftime, and then I think we gave up a couple of goals late.
Yeah, I think it was 3-0 at the end.
Right at the very end, but still battled and competed really well. And they had a lot of injury challenges this year. We had a lot of kids that got hurt. Thought our kids competed. They were out there every time, giving it their all. Our JV did okay. So we're hoping that as we move, we only had 2 seniors this year. Kyber and Manny, and so we're hoping for lots of good things next year with a lot of young kids coming back with some good experience on the varsity level. So boys lacrosse had a good year. New coach, obviously Coach Rogers coming in, first year coach, young coach, and a lot of young players too. We didn't have hardly any. I think we had 4 or 5 seniors is all.
5.
And we ended up playing a lot of freshmen this year. I know got a lot of varsity time, which is good. Bodes well for us in the future. And again, another set of kids that I felt like early on showed signs of being really good, but just couldn't quite put it all together. Either have a really good defensive game and not so much of an offensive game, or had a really good offensive game and couldn't quite put it together on defense. And that's just experience and knowledge and knowing where you're supposed to be in the game. And I thought that Coach Rogers and his staff did an excellent job of teaching the game to the kids, so that as the season wore on, we were much improved. So go down, finish. We almost got a home game. We were right outside of that, and we ended up going traveling to Waterford to play it was a 10-11 matchup, I believe. And that was a crazy game. We got to go over and watch that one. That was back and forth, and it was fun to watch. I think we were down 1 goal with like a minute and a half left. And we ended up scoring 2 goals in like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Get down there and end up going up 1, and then they had a pretty good shot right at the end of the game that we blocked and ended up getting the win. So that's lacrosse's. I believe that's their first playoff win. Because I know we didn't win one last year, and I think the year before we ended up. I don't think we ended up winning a game, but anyway, that was one of our first playoff wins for boys lacrosse being sanctioned.
Say congratulations!
Yeah.
Now go play the best team in Regional 11.
Go play number 1 team in Regional 11 and one of the top 3 teams in the state. But they went down and they competed. I believe it was 7-7 at halftime. I think we were tied at halftime.
It was a much closer game than during the season.
Yeah, both times during the season we got a little bit outclassed just offensively. Even though the second game we played them in the season was much closer, but again it really wasn't too close. but go down there in the playoff game, and man, took it to them a little bit, and I think they were reeling a little bit in that first half. And much closer game than obviously either time we played them in region. So just kind of showed you the growth that our kids had as they went through the year and got a little more confidence. And I think the Waterford win gave them a ton of confidence of what they could do offensively, which was kind of hard for them all year. They just couldn't score a big goal when they needed one, and I think that gave them a lot of confidence. And they went in and just kind of laid it on the line and said, "What do we got to lose here at Skyview?" And gave them a pretty good scare. So yeah, proud of the boys lacrosse team. They did a good job this year. And again, like you said, 5 seniors. We'll have a lot of kids coming back that got a lot of experience. So looking forward to some good things going from them next year.
Yeah, they went 5-13 overall, 4-6 in region, but a couple of them could have just
we had a couple overtime games. Yeah, honestly, a couple overtime games and lost one game with like 30 seconds left. They scored on us. So yeah.
Your academic all-state was Gage, academic all-region Dakota and Wyatt. They're from boys lacrosse. Let's go softball. Lady Bears softball.
Yeah.
16-10 overall, 6-4 in region. Ended up in the 7th seed in 4A.
Yeah.
New coach.
Yeah, brand new staff, really.
Yeah.
Whole new
It's like
staff.
Clean slate.
After 22 years with Coach Bingham, doing obviously an amazing job. I don't know. I think it's really hard to take over a legend like that because everybody expects a lot. I know Coach Tyre expected a lot out of her staff, herself, and her girls, and I thought they did an absolutely phenomenal job. They only had 2 seniors this year, so as a really young team, coming off of a state championship run, and you knew our region was going to be brutal again with Ridgeline's really good. But not just Ridgeline. I mean, you had Logan that went on something like a 10-2 run in the middle of the year, and Mountain Crest was really tough this year as well. Skyview was much improved. Green Canyon was a better team than they were last year, so we knew our region was going to be pretty tough. I thought that Coach Tyre and her staff did an excellent job of prepping our girls for where they needed to be. We went down to St. George early and beat Desert Hills, who ended up being the 2 seed, and beat them in a really good game, and then came back and did some good things with some non-region games. And we had a couple of setbacks early. Like I said, you're going to get into a region play, and had some girls get hurt and lost a couple of region games, which for us has not been the case in the past. We generally have walked through region, other than maybe Ridgeline.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not sure we had lost to a region opponent for a long time, but again, our region has gotten better overall, top to bottom. They really did get a lot better, and you saw that play out in the state tournament. How many of our teams moved on past the regionals, and so had a couple of those setbacks early, but didn't let it bother them. Just kept working. There was a little bit of a concern because we lost a bunch of games, as far as not lost them because we played them, but there was a bunch of rainouts. They were supposed to play in a tournament, and the tournament got rained out, which left us a little bit in the lurch, because when you don't play those games, your RPI drops dramatically. But there really wasn't any choice. We didn't have a way to play those games, and so we were a little worried we were going to drop down and not have a home stand. But we were able to stay in the 7th spot and ended up getting Twilla in our home super regional, and then we were able to beat them in 3 games. Give Twilla a lot of credit. We beat them up pretty well. I mean, it was really a close game, but a good game in the first game, and then they beat us up a little bit in the second game.
They were looking for some revenge.
Yeah, they were a little bit, but got to give our girls a lot of credit for bouncing back. That's an easy one to throw in the towel a little bit when you get beat that bad. It was really actually a really good game until the 5th inning. They broke it open in the 5th inning, but ended up 10 running us there, and so that's tough to do that, to just turn right back around and play that again. But our girls were resilient, came back, held them to 1 or 2 runs, I think, in that 3rd game, and ended up putting up 8 or 9 on the board. So, ended up getting the bid to go then into the bracket of 8. Knew we were going to match up with Desert Hills to have to come out of that bracket, and actually played them to start, and really close game. I think it was a 1-run, 2-run game.
Mm-hmm.
Just couldn't quite get a big hit when we needed to, and then came back through that bracket. Ended up beating
Snow Canyon.
Snow Canyon and Payson.
So you beat everybody in that bottom bracket at least once during the playoffs.
Yeah, it was which that's the nice thing about baseball, softball a little bit is it's a double elimination tournament, so the best team usually comes out of that, and you just got to keep playing. And our kids did a great job with that. Came back, beat Desert Hills in a must-win game, and to force a game 3, and really came within 1 run of playing for a state championship again.
Yeah.
Which you can't find any fault with that effort and with that grit, and sometimes that's just the way the game goes. That last game we had tons of opportunities to score a run and just had bad luck on a couple of things, and they ended up picking up a couple of runs late, and even in the last inning that we were in, had a chance to score a couple runs, and their defense made a really, really nice play to end the game. So it's just tip your hat to them, but you got to give our girls a lot of credit for fighting, and to our coaching staff too for getting them to that point and making staying with them and making the right moves when they need to make the moves. It's people don't see that on the backside of that. They just see the wins and losses sometimes, but they had a lot of things they had to make decisions on, and who to play in certain spots or who to put in certain spots, and they did a good job with that. So I was really proud of our softball team. They did an excellent job of fighting and just never giving up, even to the last out of that last game. So that was fun. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, and some of them wasn't even choice. I mean, I don't think Caitlin Wilson went into bracket play thinking I'm going to have to pitch the majority of these
you talk about rising up and overcoming some adversity. I mean, Emma Harrow had done a great job for us all year. She comes in that third game against Tooele, and I think it was the third pitch of the game, gets drilled on the inside part of her hand, and it just swole up, and she just could not get it to the point where she could grip a softball. It just was. It wasn't not a break or anything, but it was some tissue and some muscle issues, and
something that needs time to heal.
Yeah,
we didn't have time.
You didn't have time. Yeah, because you play that game and then you start on Wednesday the next week, and she came out. I know she tried to throw in a couple of those games, and she just couldn't grab it. So then you go down to your next girl up is Kate Wilson, and man, talk about
stepping up.
Yeah, she just decided, all right, we're gonna go win a few games here, and she had a lot of fire and emotion, and it's kind of fun to watch her pitch, and she gets pretty fired up, which I love to see, especially from a pitcher on the mound. You like to see some confidence and some passion going there, but yeah, just have to grind it out, and Boston Lish made a couple of Olivia Taylor catches in the outfield over.
She didn't just do it once. She did it. She
twice.
did at least 3.
Yeah, I didn't see the first one, but I was right there for the second one. It was pretty impressive. So yeah, kids, and she hadn't started a lot all year. She kind of came in a situation to replace some people, and again step up and do a good job. You have Bella Douglas, who's verbal at Purdue. So she's obviously a good player. She stepped up with a few clutch hits. Lucy Roach, same thing. You got again all these guys are underclassmen. Kea Town has been obviously an anchor for us at shortstop for 3 years now, and we will definitely miss her because she's one of those kids that just quiet leader, but when things are on the edge or starting to go bad, she's the one that grabs everybody, pulls them together, and says, "Hey, we got this. Let's keep working." I remember talking to her in between the Tooele. So when they lost the first Tooele game, and then after the second one, she just said, "Yeah, I wasn't going out like that. We're gonna win." So you like to have people that like that on your team that just exude that confidence and have been there in that spot. And she's done a good job. We'll definitely miss her. And my expectation is that you compete, and I think they did that in spades.
Just looking at the books, at the last game where we got eliminated with Desert Hills, we beat them in the books.
Yeah,
more runs, more hits.
Yeah, we had more hits. We just, like I said early, I worried about that game because early I think the first 3 innings we had runners at second and third 3 different times. We picked up a couple of runs, but if you get that one big hit every once in a while that just kind of breaks it open, then they're not always just knocking on the door. They got to really break the door down, and we just couldn't quite put that together. Had a couple balls hit hard, they just didn't fall. You know, and just one of those situations where kind of some bad luck got into that game, and there's a couple of weird calls, and it's the way baseball and softball goes. It's just, you know, sometimes the calls go your way and sometimes they don't.
Kea Town, you're all-state.
Yeah.
Or academic all-state.
Yeah.
Out of that.
Great leader. We'll definitely miss Kea for sure. Baseball had a fantastic year too. We got a pretty amazing group of seniors that age. Those 4 guys. You got you got Talon Marble, who was actually our outstanding athlete of that class this year. You got Easton Goodliff, who's just phenomenal in what he does, and then you got Deegan Rigby, who's been he's been our best pitcher for 2 years and one of our best pitchers for 3 years, and really was pretty good as a freshman. So I mean, you got and then you got Garrett Marble, who's been a mainstay at first base in the lineup for again, all 4 of those kids lettered as freshmen, contributed as freshmen, and then were starters from their sophomores all the way through their senior years. So yeah, had a good group of seniors come through, and then you still only have 4 of those guys. There's 9 spots, really 10 spots on a baseball team. So you had 6 other kids that had to step in and do some things too, and we had some younger kids and underclassmen come through and just really make some huge strides this year. I think obviously you got Holden Potter, who's going to be a superstar next year. He had a breakthrough year, and then you got Brooks Drollinger, who had an outstanding year, and Thomas Summers did a great job for us. Colton Summers did a great job. Mikey and Wright kind of finally solidified the job out there in Wright. A couple other guys came in and threw. You had
Bev on second.
Yeah. Bevan's at second base. Yeah, a couple other guys that came in and threw innings when they needed to, and yeah, I mean, we little bit disappointing that we weren't able to win the region, but you know, the nice part about that is we got a little revenge there in the state tournament. Was that we're able to knock Ridgeline off, so we'll take that. If that's what it means, we have to go farther in the state tournament than they did, then that's okay.
And you were seated higher than them.
Yeah.
in the
RPI,
RPI.
It really didn't matter anyway, right? Yeah, they ended up being a 7 seed, I think, and we ended up being the 4 seed or the 5 seed.
5 seed.
Yeah, ended up getting a super regional at home against Mountain Crest of all people, right? I mean, love playing Mountain Crest and hate playing Mountain Crest because they're good, right? I mean, we have a really good relationship. You know, Coach Hansen and I coached against each other for a long time, and then his son Trace, and now Coach Haas have coached against each other for a long time. Good friends, you know, really like each other off the field, and you know, like each other on the field too, but just 2 huge competitors, and you knew they were going to be tough, and came in. Deegan did an absolutely fantastic job that first game that we played them. Still a close game, but was able to just kind of shut them out. They scored 2 runs in the second inning, and after that he just shut them down. And then Holden came in and closed the door on them that second game, even though, well, we were up I think we were up 3 runs. Yeah, in the top of the 7th inning, and they ended up loading the bases with nobody out.
Yeah.
Holden just kind of got tired, and sometimes that happens. You lose the strike zone a little bit, and that's when you got guys like that just have to step up and finish a game off. And Easton came in, and I think he got 3 outs and 15 pitches and didn't allow a run. So, you know, so that's a good guy to have to come in and shut the door right there. So he's one of those kids that when you watch him play, he just never gets. He's always the same. I don't know if you could ever tell whether we're up 10 runs or down 10 runs. He looks the same. He doesn't get emotional about stuff. He just plays the game at a really high level, and that's the kind of guy you want in coming to close a game, because he just doesn't matter what the situation, it's not going to bother him. So then he went on a tear in the state playoffs, get in there, and like I say, we ran into a little bit of bad luck that first game. Had an hour and a half lightning delay in that first game that didn't help us out any. Give Desert Hills credit. They're a really, really solid team. They can just flat swing it, and got beat by a couple of runs there, but then came back. Like I said, the next day we ended up knocking out Ridgeline, and then coming back. And who did we play after that?
You met up with Desert Hills.
Oh, that's right, Desert Hills again. That's right, yeah. So we come back and beat Desert Hills, in extra innings. Again.
Double revenge.
Yeah. Colton Summers throws that game, and Colton probably the best game of his career. to come back in and throw that one, holding through a gem against Ridgeline, and then Colton comes in and throws a gem against Desert Hills, and we get the win there, which was great. I thought we played outstanding. That was a game that went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and they ended up tying the game in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sometimes that can be a huge letdown when you know you got the game won if you can get 3 outs, and we just didn't get 3 outs, and it is what it is. But then came back and we scored a couple of runs in the top of the 8th and shut them. They went 1-2-3 in the bottom of. I think we turned. Well, I know. Yeah, the bottom of that 8th inning. I think the leadoff hitter got on, and then one of their top hitters. There's the only senior they have. Comes up and hits an absolute rocket shot to Easton Goodliff at third base, and he made it look super easy. Turned a double play. It was one of those. Everybody goes, "Oh, that was an easy play," and that's not an easy play. That was a tough play.
I was gonna make that comment when you're saying he plays the same high or low, and it doesn't matter if it's a hard play or a soft play. He makes it all look easy.
When he makes them look easy, and they're not. That was a tough play. I mean, that ball was smoked. And he had one chance to turn a double play. He may have been able to knock it down and get one, but he had one chance to turn the double play, which is how he played it. And I mean, that obviously when you erase 2 runners with one at bat, makes your pitcher relax just a little bit. And I think we ended up getting the 3rd out. The next kid hit the ball at the fence, but we make the catch, and he ended up winning by 2. So that was amazing. And then probably just a little bit tired running into Dixie, but you got to give Dixie a lot of credit. They can just swing it. They just do. And really, the game was really competitive all the way through. The score was a little more lopsided than it seemed, really, than it probably was. But I thought we competed like crazy against them and just ran out of gas a little bit. So, but that was the first time since the new format that the baseball team has played in the championship game of the bracket. So when you have the 2 brackets that come out, that's the first time they've ever played in the game that would get them to the state championship. So I think they had the 2nd most wins in a season, and I know they broke a ton of records. Like Garrick Marble broke the triples record, shattered the triples record. I think Deegan broke the strikeout record by like 40. Holden Potter
steals.
Yeah, single season steals. I think Talon Marble holds the record for for career steals, and then Easton had a couple of. I think he had some weird on base percentage record or something. Just so all those guys are setting records all over the place. Just it was a really fun group of kids to watch, and they played the game well. They played the game hard, and I thought they did a really good job. Coach Haas and his staff, worked hard at making sure that they did the right things and for the right reasons and at the right time, and they did a good job. It showed at the end, and like I said, you're 1 game away from playing the state championship game, so you got to be pretty pleased about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It kind of echoed how softball kind of ended up. So
yeah.
And you got Deegan going to CSI.
Yep. Yeah. Deegan was academic All-State, I believe, and going to CSI.
Yeah, and Garrick was your all-region.
All-region, and Garrick's going to go to Salt Lake Community College. I know Easton's looking at possibly going to CSI as well. There was some interest there at the end of the year, so I'm not sure what he's going to do there. And then Talon has a chance to go to a couple places too if he wants to. So all 4 of those guys could go play at the next level, which is amazing. You don't usually get that where all 4 of your seniors have an opportunity, whether they play or not. So yeah, good group of kids. And then, like I said, obviously Holden, he's going to get a pretty good opportunity to play at the next level next year as well. He actually got an invite to it's called a Pro Series, and it's put on by Perfect Game. So he got an invite. It's in San Diego, California, next week. So he goes and plays in a couple games for them, and then does a little bit of a showcase for a bunch of pro teams, and he kind of got put on the radar this year with what he was able to do on the mound and the plate. So yeah, looking forward to good things. We'll have to have some more kids step up. Those four that we lose, they're big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of young kids that I really think can do a good job and can step up, and they may not be the mainstays and the big names at this point, but now's their chance to make their mark too. So state champs.
Your 3-peat.
Yeah.
Girls lacrosse, 20-0.
Yeah, pretty amazing. I don't know crap about lacrosse, honestly. I mean, I love to watch them play. I don't really know I don't understand. They're always stopping the game. I keep looking over at people. What was that? I don't know a lot about lacrosse as far as.
I do appreciate when they do call something. It's quick.
Oh yeah, and they go fast half the time. They don't even stop the game. They just blow the whistle, and like the other girl knows they got to stop for a minute, and they keep going.
Yeah,
it's really a fun game to watch because there's a ton of offense. And our girls are good at offense. And actually we're good at defense too. But I mean, we are really good at offense. And that was obviously. So I think we've lost 3 games in 3 years, 2 games in 3 years. Got to give a shout out to Coach Webb and his staff for what they're able to do. You don't have that many wins if you're not disciplined and understand the game. You can out athletic people and teams. Most of the time, but you're going to run into a situation where you got a team that is really good as well, and they're probably going to beat you if all you're relying on is athleticism. And so they do a good job of making sure our girls know what's going on, both offensively and defensively. You obviously ran the table in region, and then end up playing Logan the first game, and then I believe who did we get the second game? We had to buy the first game, then got Logan the second game.
Crest, then Waterford.
And then we had to go down and play Waterford and at Westminster. And, Waterford came out, and I think there was 2-0 in the first couple of minutes for Waterford. And it was a close game at halftime. I think we were up 1 goal at halftime. And we really just, they had Waterford. You got to get credit Waterford. They had a good strategy against our offense going in. They did a good job of shutting down, Kenzie Mickelson and Sadie and some of those girls that normally have just that they carry our offensive load, and they had a good game plan to shut those girls down for a minute, and so our defense had to pick up. I mean, they really had to play really good defense, and they did a fantastic job in the second half. Our Tristan Smart, our goalie, did a great job of blocking some really tough shots in that second half to make sure that they didn't climb back into it too early, and then we finally got. Shelby Wilkinson had a great game, and then finally Sadie and Mackenzie kind of got some shots, and when they got some shots, they made them count. We pulled away from Waterford there, and then you get into the state championship game against Payson, who was the number 2 seed. So your number 1 and 2 RPIs come in, and again Payson did a really good job. They had their game plan was head to the goal, man. I mean, when they got the ball, it was like a beeline straight to right down Broadway, and they were not taking no for an answer. They were really physical, which was surprising because usually in the girls lacrosse games, they don't let physicality go too much.
No.
But I thought that game they did. They let them play, which that's fine. That's what you're going to get when on your referees. That's okay as long as they do it both ways, which I thought they did. And so we had to kind of adjust to that because we hadn't seen quite that aggressive or physical a play all year, and our girls did a really good job of just not panicking and just kind of relaxing a little bit and getting into their offensive flow. And then again, Shelby had a great game until Mackenzie and some of the other girls could really kind of then step in and take their shots, and so they did a great job of shutting them down on defense, and was super fun to watch. Like I said, three-peat, that never happens. It just doesn't. I mean, that's not something that happens very often, and our girls did a fantastic job. We had quite a few seniors this year. I think we had 6 seniors, and so that's pretty amazing that from their sophomore through their senior year, they win a state championship every year. That's pretty amazing. Josephine Tanner is going to Wisconsin to play lacrosse. Mm-hmm. Mackenzie Mickelson just signed at Southern Virginia University yesterday. And Bethany Richard, Bethany's actually going to go play at SUU. At SUU right now, it's not a sanctioned sport, it's a club sport, but they're trying to get sanctioned, but she's going down there to play and go to school down there as well. So, I mean, three girls, and I think there's actually opportunities for a couple of those other girls that, depending on where they want to go and what they want to do, they could actually get a scholarship to go play some places as well. So we have a ton of young girls in the valley that are playing now, and that's really been a benefit to our high school program to have those young feeder programs coming in. They already know how to play the game. That's one of the things that you'll see about our teams is they play at a high level because they know how to do a lot of the basic stuff. We throw, we catch, we pass, we shoot, and we have an idea of where everybody that is on the field. And when you can do those things, especially in women's sports, you can really dominate, and you can see that with what happened with our girls program. So yeah, again, shout out to the coaches for making sure that they had those skills early, and then you develop the more advanced skills late, which shows up when you play tough teams. That's when you got to have those. So Mackenzie Mickelson,
She's your
academic all-state.
Academic All-State. Josie. And JC.
Yeah,
Larkin.
and JC. Yeah, JC. Yeah, that's right. JC. They're all 3 academic all-state.
And Sadie Adams was all region.
Sadie Adams, all regions. So yeah, pretty amazing kids. Really, we'll miss that group of seniors for that team. They were amazing leaders, and they did a good job of just keeping everybody together and making sure that there was no distractions, and they had a mission and a goal in place. I think their jerseys were Chicago Bulls throwback jerseys, because they were that's what they were after, was the three-peat. So I mean, they knew they had a target on their back all year. Everybody, they knew they were going to get the best from everybody, and they just said, that's okay, bring it on, we'll take it, and ran with it and did a fantastic job. So yeah, super proud of them.
Next week on Talk of the Town, find out what's planned for Flag Day at Midland Square.